Hello everyone. In this lesson, you will learn how to install a virtual machine such as Kali Linux using the UTM graphical application. If you remember in the previous class, we learned how to install the UTM graphical application. In this class, we will use the UTM graphical application to install a virtual machine such as Kali Linux. Let's start. First of all, I would like you to go to your Spotlight search and find your terminal. And open your terminal and update the Rosetta emulator. So software update space dash dash install dash Rosetta space dash dash agree dash to license and press the return key. As you can see, we have successfully installed Rosetta. Great. Next step, I would like you to go to your settings, go to privacy and security, and find full disk access. As you can see, the UTM graphical application we installed in the previous class is on. So if in case if you don't see the UTM graphical application, just add it by clicking the plus sign and go to your application and then find the UTM right here and open. It will add the UTM graphical application to this list and you check it in, make sure it's on. So we're done. Next, we need to go to open our Safari, go to kalilinux.org, and here, this is Kali Linux, and here we're interested in downloads. And here we're interested in the installer images. Click installer images and we need to select Apple Silicon ARM64. So if you click the Apple icon about this Mac, as you can see in this case I have Apple M1 processor which is ARM64, and just this is it for now. And since we selected the Apple Silicon ARM64 image, and you can select one of these images, you can read what is the differences between these images. But in this case, I'm going to download this image and click the arrow pointing downward and start downloading the image. Go to your downloads, and as you can see, I'm re-downloading the image. I already have downloaded the image, so let's close it. In your case, make sure that the download is completed, and then you can follow me from here. So next, let's close this and go to your UTM graphical application, open it. Let's install the image that we've been installing from the Kali Linux website. And you can say create a new virtual machine or click the plus sign and virtualize, then Linux. Why Linux? Because Kali Linux is a Linux-based operating system. So in this case, use Apple virtualization and enable Rosetta. And then let's select our image that we have downloaded from the Kali Linux website. Browser, go to your downloads, find the Kali Linux image, and open. Continue. In this case, you can configure, you can customize it. Then I just, for me, this is enough. CPU cores for me too is enough. Continue. Then here, I just say 70 for me is enough. You can leave it as 64 gigabyte and continue. Here, if you would like to share the folders between your physical computer, which is my Mac, in this case I have a macOS. If I would like to share any folders, I select that folder. So if I select the desktop or documents folder, then in this case I will be sharing that directory between my physical computer and the virtual machine, which is a Kali Linux in this case. But in this case, I just leave it the way it is as a default setting. Continue. and I would like you to go through the settings with me to make sure your settings match with my settings. As you can see, Linux, Apple virtualization, use virtualization, 8 GB, 2 cores, 70 Linux, etc. And use Rosetta, safe. That is great. So now we saved it, and also I would like you just to go through these settings to make sure they do match with my settings, and then let's start. Let's boot our virtual machine. As you can see, we have install, we have graphical install. The difference between them, graphical install has an interface, but in this case I go with install and press the return key. And select English, United States, American English. All these settings for me. If you have different preferred language choice, go ahead for it. And now we're installing our Kali Linux virtual machine. This process will take some time. So host name, you can name it whatever you want. In this case, I just simply call it Megatron. Here we go. Just let's call it Megatron. And full name, okay, hey, let's call it Megatron too. Username Megatron, that's all. And enter your password. In this case, I will select my own password. And just let's say Pacific. So now this is the most important part of this configuration. In this case, as you notice, we have 3 options: guided, use entire disk; guided, use entire disk and set up LVM; and guided, use entire disk and set up encrypted LVM. But as you notice, there's 3 options. In this case, I would like you to select manual. So once you selected manual, I would like you to select virtual disk. Press the return key. Say yes. Great. Now we go back and go back to our guided partitioning. Press the return key. As you noticed, before we had 3 options. Right now we have guided, use the largest continuous free space. Here we go. Select this. Press the return key. All files in one partition. For new users, yes, press the return key. And finish partitioning and write changes to disk. Press the return key. And select yes, write the changes to the 2 disks. Yes. Press the return key. Now this process will take about 10 minutes. So next, just you can select the one of these options to customize your desktop, but in this case I just leave it the default setting, press the return key and continue. So now we have completed the installation. Just press the return key, continue. Then we're booting our Kali Linux image and press the return key. So as you can see, this is very small. As you can see that the prompt box is very small. So we need to close this. Just close it. Close. And go to the setting. Find your Kali Linux virtual machine and select it and go to the settings. Once you go to the setting, click display and check in HIDPI Retina. Save. Great. And let's start again. Press the return key and expand the windows. As you can see, we got a better font size. And now say type in your password that you created, and congratulations, right now we have access to Kali Linux virtual machine. As you can see here, that's wonderful. Great. Then if you would like to play around with your screen resolution, in this case, as you can see, if I want to get the full screen size, you still can go click the Kali Linux icon and find display, and this is display. In my case, the resolution would be 1920 1080 in ratio 16:9. I click this, apply, and keep configuration. As you can see, I got the full screen, a full screen, and my Kali Linux desktop is just occupying the entire screen. So this is great. So congratulations. You in this class you'll learn how to install a Kali Linux virtual machine using the UTM graphical application.